underscore 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 underscore. Have you ever wondered what it really takes to live a happy life? Don't worry, you're not alone. In a world obsessed with chasing goals, material things, and people, it's easy to forget the basics. Everyone talks about happiness, but who actually tells you how to get there without selling some false dream? Relax, because today we're going to cut through the noise and share what psychology and Stoic philosophy can teach us about happiness. Spoiler alert, it's in the little things we ignore every day. Laugh more, get outside, wake up early, and please turn off your phone once in a while. Stick with us to discover why science and ancient wisdom are still teaching us valuable lessons in the 21st century. But first, let me tell you a story to help frame the wisdom in today's content. There was once a young man named Mark who lived in a quiet valley. Even though he had plenty of material possessions and his life seemed perfect from the outside, he always felt like something was missing. One day, Mark decided to embark on a journey to discover the true secret to happiness. Along his journey, he met a wise old man who lived in a small cabin on a hill. After talking for hours, the old man shared 3 essential pieces of advice for living a happy life. He said, to be happy, you don't need more stuff or power. There are 3 simple things you need to practice: gratitude, acceptance, and love. Mark was puzzled but listened carefully. The old man continued, gratitude is the first. If you don't appreciate what you already have, you'll never have enough. Be thankful for every little moment, every breath. Second is acceptance. Life will always have ups and downs. If you learn to accept things as they are without trying to control everything, you'll find peace in the chaos. And third is love. Love what you do, love the people around you, and most importantly, love yourself. Only when your heart is full of love can you truly radiate happiness to others and receive it back. As Mark began practicing gratitude, accepting life's changes, and loving more deeply, he realized that his search for happiness was over. It wasn't something he had to find outside, but something to cultivate from within. His friends in the valley noticed the change in him, and when they asked him the secret to his transformation, Mark simply replied, happiness isn't a destination, it's the journey. If you live with gratitude, acceptance, and love, you'll discover that happiness has been within you all along. Now, before we dive into the first lesson, if you find these videos helpful, I encourage you to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Ready to change your life? Let's get started. 1. Laugh more. Have you ever noticed how we often make life much more complicated than it needs to be? We treat almost everything with extreme seriousness, as if there's a global competition for who can frown the hardest. We get so caught up in our daily responsibilities, stresses, and struggles that we forget to let go, relax, and laugh. But here's the thing, science and ancient wisdom both agree that laughter isn't just a feel-good action. It's actually an essential tool for maintaining your well-being, both mentally and physically. Let's rewind a bit to the Stoics, the original masters of staying calm under pressure. At first glance, they might not seem like the kind of people who would embrace laughter. After all, their philosophy focuses on discipline, self-control, and maintaining your composure no matter what life throws your way. But even the Stoics knew the importance of keeping a light heart in the face of adversity. Epictetus, one of the most well-known Stoic philosophers, famously said, "People are not disturbed by things, but by the view they take of them." While this quote may seem like a serious piece of advice about controlling your emotions, it also opens the door to something else. How you choose to react to life's challenges can either weigh you down or set you free, and laughter is one of the best ways to free yourself from the heaviness of stress. Laughter might seem like a small, insignificant act, but it's incredibly powerful. When we laugh, our brains release a cocktail of feel-good chemicals like endorphins and serotonin, which help us cope with pain and elevate our mood. On top of that, laughter actually reduces the amount of cortisol and adrenaline in our system. These 2 hormones are the ones that surge when we're stressed, putting us in a state of fight or flight. By laughing, we lower their levels, which in turn reduces the physical effects of stress on our bodies. Essentially, Laughter is like hitting the reset button on our nervous system. It calms us down, makes us feel more in control, and even helps us sleep better. Imagine life as a roller coaster, full of unexpected twists, sudden drops, and the occasional heart-pounding moment that makes you question everything. When you laugh, it's like fastening the safety harness on that roller coaster ride. It doesn't make the ups and downs disappear, but it helps you feel secure and able to handle whatever comes next. This is exactly what laughter does for our emotions. It acts as a buffer, helping us bounce back from stressful situations with a sense of resilience. Dr. Lee Burke from Loma Linda University conducted extensive research on the effects of laughter on the human body. What he found was pretty amazing. Laughter works like a natural stress reliever. His studies showed that even a few moments of genuine laughter could lower blood pressure, boost the immune system, and reduce the production of stress hormones. In other words, laughter isn't just a quick fix for a bad mood, it's a long-term strategy for protecting your health. But what if you don't feel like laughing? What if the pressures of daily life make it hard to find joy or humor in anything? Here's where the Stoic mindset comes in again. Stoicism teaches us that while we can't always control the external events in our lives, we can control how we respond to them. Choosing to laugh, even in tough situations, is a form of control. It's a conscious decision to look for the lighter side of life, to not let hardships drag us down completely. And don't worry, laughter isn't just for those who have a naturally great sense of humor. Anyone can benefit from it. In fact, research has shown that even forced laughter, like in laughter yoga or therapy, can have the same positive effects on the brain and body as spontaneous laughter. In a study published by the Journal of Alternative and Complementary Medicine, cancer patients who participated in laughter therapy reported feeling less depressed, more hopeful, and better equipped to face their challenges. Think about that for a second. People going through one of the toughest battles of their lives found relief and strength in laughter. If they can, so can you. So how can you incorporate more laughter into your daily life? Start small. Don't wait for the perfect joke or a hilarious movie. Instead, find humor in the little things. Laugh at your own mistakes, laugh at the absurdity of certain situations, laugh at the memes your friends send you, even if they're not that funny. The key is to let yourself experience joy and amusement as often as possible. Every time you laugh, you're training your brain to focus on the positive and let go of the negative, even if just for a moment. Let's put it into perspective. Say you're stuck in traffic, late for an important meeting. You can either sit there fuming at the cars in front of you, or you can laugh at the ridiculousness of the situation. Maybe turn on a funny podcast or think about something that made you smile earlier in the day. By choosing laughter, you take control of the situation. Sure, it won't get you to your meeting any faster, but it will reduce the stress and frustration that come with feeling helpless. Laughter isn't just a way to pass the time or fill awkward silences. It's a tool, a skill you can develop over time to help you navigate life's inevitable ups and downs. Even when it feels like the world is giving you nothing to smile about, don't underestimate the power of a good laugh. It might just be the key to living a happier, healthier, and more balanced life. Give yourself the freedom to enjoy each moment rather than feeling like time is slipping away. So how can you start packing your days with purposeful plans? First, take a step back and think about what really matters to you. What are the activities that bring you joy? What are the things you've been meaning to do but keep putting off? Maybe it's spending time with family, working on a personal project, exercising, or learning something new. Whatever it is, make a commitment to prioritize these activities. Write them down, schedule them into your day, and treat them with the same importance as you would a work meeting or appointment. One powerful way to approach this is by breaking your day into chunks. For example, you could dedicate the first part of your day to your most important tasks when your mind is fresh and focused, then set aside time in the afternoon for more creative or social activities. By structuring your day in this way, you ensure that you're making time for both productivity and enjoyment. Another tip is to set small, achievable goals for each day. This helps you stay on track and gives you a sense of accomplishment as you check things off your list. But remember, these goals don't have to be monumental. Even something as simple as going for a walk, calling a friend, or reading for 20 minutes can make a big difference in how you feel about your day. The key is to make sure that each day includes activities that align with your values and bring you closer to your personal goals. The Stoics believed that we should approach each day as an opportunity to grow and improve ourselves. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, wrote, "At day's first light have in readiness against disinclination to leave your bed the thought that I am rising for the work of man." This idea of rising with purpose is central to Stoic philosophy. Each day is a chance to become better, wiser, and more fulfilled, but only if we use our time wisely. Of course, life doesn't always go according to plan. There will be days when things don't go as expected, when your carefully crafted schedule gets thrown out the window, and that's okay. The beauty of Stoicism is that it teaches us to accept what we cannot control and to adapt. If your plans get derailed, don't stress, just adjust. The important thing is to stay flexible and focus on what you can do with the time you have left. At the end of the day, packing your life with plans isn't about being busy, it's about being mindful of how you spend your time. It's about making sure that your days are filled with meaning, growth, and joy. And when you do that, you'll find that time seems to expand rather than slip away. So take a moment to reflect on how you're spending your time. Are you filling your days with purpose, or are you letting them slip by in a blur of distractions? Remember, time is one of your most valuable resources. Use it wisely, and you'll find that your days feel fuller, richer, and more satisfying. As the Stoics remind us, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one. Don't quit on what you love. How many times have you thought about giving up on something you love just because it felt hard? Maybe it was a hobby you enjoyed, a project you were passionate about, or even a career path that once made you excited. Somewhere along the way, though, things got tough, life got busy, and you started wondering if it was really worth the effort to keep going. But here's the thing. Quitting on what you love doesn't just mean abandoning a passion, it means denying yourself one of the greatest sources of fulfillment and happiness. The Stoics had a lot to say about perseverance, and it's easy to see why. Life, they believed, was full of challenges, obstacles, and setbacks, but they also believed that the key to a fulfilling life was not in avoiding difficulty, but in pushing through it. As Seneca put it, it is not because things are difficult that we do not dare, but because we do not dare that things are difficult. In other words, the things you love are worth fighting for, even when they seem out of reach. So why do we quit on the things we love? More often than not, it's because we get discouraged. Maybe you've hit a rough patch, or maybe progress is slower than you'd like. It's easy to feel like you're not getting anywhere, especially in a world that demands instant results. But here's the truth. Anything worth doing takes time, effort, and persistence. The Stoics would remind us that the path to greatness is not a straight line. It's full of twists, turns, and unexpected challenges. And that's exactly why you shouldn't give up. Think about a time when you stuck with something you loved even when it got hard. Maybe it was learning to play an instrument, writing a book, or training for a marathon. There were probably moments when you wanted to quit when it seemed like you'd never get better or finish. But by pushing through, you not only accomplished something great, you also grew as a person. Perseverance teaches us patience, resilience, and discipline, and these qualities are essential for leading a meaningful life. There's also a scientific side to this. Research has shown that people who stick with their passions tend to be happier and more satisfied with their lives. According to a study published in the Journal of Positive Psychology, individuals who engage in passion-driven activities experience greater levels of well-being, lower levels of stress, and a stronger sense of purpose. This is because doing what you love taps into a deep well of intrinsic motivation. It's something you do for the joy of it, not because someone else told you to or because you're chasing an external reward. The problem is we often get caught up in the idea that if something isn't easy, it's not worth it. But the Stoics teach us the opposite. They believe that struggle and hardship are an inevitable part of life and that true happiness comes from overcoming these challenges. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This famous Stoic quote reminds us that obstacles aren't roadblocks, they're stepping stones. The very things that make a task difficult are what help us grow stronger, wiser, and more capable. So how do you keep going when the going gets tough? The first step is to remember why you started in the first place. What drew you to this passion? What was it about this hobby, project, or career that made you feel alive? Reconnect with that initial spark of excitement. Sometimes, when we lose sight of the bigger picture, we get bogged down by the day-to-day frustrations. But when you remind yourself of the joy that comes from doing what you love, it becomes easier to push through the hard parts. Another important thing to remember is that progress doesn't always look the way we expect it to. You might not see results right away, and that's okay. The Stoics believed in focusing on the process rather than the outcome. They understood that we can't always control the results of our efforts, but we can control how much effort we put in. Instead of worrying about whether or not you're succeeding in the traditional sense, focus on showing up and doing the work. The progress will come, even if it's not immediately visible. Think of it like planting a tree. At first, you can't see any growth above the ground, but that doesn't mean nothing's happening beneath the surface. Roots are spreading, establishing a foundation that will eventually support a towering tree. The same goes for your passions. The effort you put in today might not show immediate results, but it's building a foundation for future success. Of course, there are times when quitting might seem like the easier option. Maybe you're exhausted, frustrated, or feeling like you're not cut out for this particular challenge. But before you throw in the towel, ask yourself this: will you regret giving up? Often, the answer is yes. The things we love have a way of staying with us, even when we walk away from them. If you're passionate about something, quitting will only leave you with a sense of what could have been. The Stoics would argue that this regret is far worse than the discomfort of pushing through a tough time. So whatever it is you're passionate about, don't give up on it. Keep going, even when it feels difficult. Remember, every obstacle is an opportunity to grow, and the things you love are worth fighting for. As Seneca reminds us, it is not because things are difficult that we do not dare, but because we do not dare that things are difficult. Dare to keep going, and you'll discover that the rewards are far greater than the challenges. Within our reach, it's a choice we can make at any time in any situation. Of course, being kind doesn't mean being a pushover or letting people take advantage of you. The Stoics were firm believers in maintaining boundaries and standing up for yourself when necessary. Kindness, when practiced sincerely, comes from a place of strength, not weakness. It's about acting with integrity and compassion without expecting anything in return, and this is what makes it so powerful. When you're kind, you're doing something that's fully within your control, no matter what's going on around you. Kindness is always an option. In a world that can sometimes feel harsh and unforgiving, kindness is a way to reclaim your sense of agency. It reminds you that even in the face of negativity, you have the power to make a positive impact, and that impact isn't limited to the people around you, it also affects your own happiness and well-being. By choosing kindness, you're creating a life filled with meaning, connection, and joy. So, as you move through your day, remember that every interaction is an opportunity for kindness. Whether it's with a friend, a co-worker, or a stranger, you have the power to brighten someone's day, and in doing so, you'll find that your own life becomes richer and more fulfilling. As Marcus Aurelius said, when you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love, and to be kind. Turn it off. The solution is simple. By intentionally disconnecting from your phone, even for short periods, you give yourself the gift of uninterrupted time. This time can be used for reflection, creativity, or simply to enjoy the present moment without distraction. Think of it as a digital detox, a break from the noise and busyness of the online world. Now, let's be clear, this isn't about demonizing technology. Smartphones are incredibly useful tools that have made our lives more convenient in many ways. The problem arises when we become so dependent on them that they start to control us rather than the other way around. The Stoics believed that we should always aim to control what's within our power, and that includes how we use technology. Instead of letting your phone dictate your attention, take charge and decide when and how you want to use it. One of the most effective ways to start is by setting specific times during the day to turn off your phone. For example, try turning it off during meals, when you're spending time with loved ones, or before bed. This allows you to fully engage in the present moment without the constant temptation to check your screen. Over time, you'll find that these moments of disconnection become something you look forward to, an opportunity to recharge and refocus. Another powerful practice is to have phone-free periods throughout the day. These can be as short as 15 minutes or as long as a couple of hours. During this time, focus on being fully present in whatever you're doing, whether that's going for a walk, reading a book, or simply sitting in silence. The Stoics often emphasized the importance of solitude and reflection, believing that taking time to be alone with your thoughts was essential for self-improvement and inner peace. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." Turning off your phone creates the space for this kind of retreat, a chance to reconnect with yourself and the world around you. Turning off your phone also improves your relationships. Have you ever been in a conversation with someone who kept glancing at their phone? It doesn't feel good, does it? That's because divided attention signals to the other person that they aren't your priority. When you put your phone away during conversations, you're showing the other person that you value their time and presence. This small act of mindfulness can strengthen your connections and lead to more meaningful interactions. Research backs this up. A study published in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships found that the mere presence of a phone during a conversation, whether it's being used or not, can reduce the quality of social interactions. The study revealed that people who had a phone in sight during a conversation reported feeling less connected to the person they were talking to and rated the conversation as less satisfying. By turning off your phone, you eliminate this distraction and allow for deeper, more genuine connections with the people in your life. But turning off your phone doesn't just benefit your relationships, it also benefits your productivity. We often think that being constantly connected makes us more efficient, but the reality is that multitasking, like checking your phone while working, actually reduces productivity. When we switch between tasks, our brains need time to refocus, which means we're less efficient than if we had focused on one thing at a time. By turning off your phone during work or important tasks, you eliminate distractions and allow yourself to fully concentrate, leading to higher quality work and a greater sense of accomplishment. And let's not forget the importance of sleep. One of the biggest culprits of poor sleep quality is screen time before bed.